Jay from Team DMA. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. This is going to be a very unique video, as most of all my videos are, but this one's going to be really close to home, or I should say, like, very special to me. Like, if you notice, I always talk to myself like in the third person or reference to my channel as a channel. Like, I separate myself from everything. I usually push everything away from me and onto the community, because I honestly believe that all the people that are like successful, like mental success, spiritual success, and success overall, they all do that same focus, that they concentrate on the community rather than themselves. But this video is going to be unique, and it's going to be more about me personally. In my channel, I don't do this. I never do this. I never really talk about myself or anything, because that's not why the channel was created. The channel is created for the community and helping people out, as you already know. Nothing else is important to me, but I just found out, to some people's old news, to me it's new news. I wasn't aware that Akira Toriyama had passed away, so I don't want to let one more day go without me recognizing it. We know that the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh passed away, and I did a video, so I wanted to do something about Akira Toriyama. So I'll try to keep the video short, and I'll try to jam as much information in it. But basically, Akira Toriyama is a writer of anime. So he writes books. And back in the 80s, he became famous for a novel or anime that he made called Dr. Slump. If you don't know what that is basically a scientist, and he's human, he's just like us, full of faults. But he created a little robot called, I believe, Ariel, and she basically travels the world, and she runs across like bad stuff, and she helps out. The funny thing is that it introduces like a bionic little girl. She seems like she's like 2 inches tall, like beneath your knees, but she has powers of like similar to like Beerus and the Angel in Dragon Ball Super. Like, her scaling is at a different place in your mind. Like, it's not bound by Earth. Like, she has power to destroy the Earth with a punch. She has powers to. I think she can attract planets. Like, she has like some sort of psyche, brain power. Like, she's at another level to not waste time. And when the 80s, I mean, sorry, the late 80s, you had Dragon Ball. And then when the 90s started, you developed Dragon Ball Z. Now, he became famous for the Dr. Slump and was rich. But then he ended up watching, Akira Toriyama says he watched, I believe he said in an interview, because he has a lot of interviews, and he has issues with forgetting stuff, because just like me and you write so much stuff and you forget. Like, once you write so much stuff, it's like if they tell you, like, what did you do on this day? When did you do on this day? Like, you're not gonna know, because every day you do a lot of stuff. So it's a lot. So Kira would forget about a lot of things um, when he would write, because he was like constantly writing and writing and writing. And you might be wondering, like, why am I bringing that up? Because he would actually implement Ariel into Dragon Ball, and then he would put it into Dragon Ball Super. And he would, on his interviews, he would always change things, but you could see it was because he was forgetting, because he admitted he forgotten about like the Super Saiyan 2. He admitted there's a lot of things that he admits that he forgot about. Like, people think that it's part of an arc or something in the show, that it doesn't make sense, but he comes out plainly saying he just forgot. So he's human just like us all, but overall, the series that he makes are very beautiful, very cool. And back in like the 80s, early 90s, there was nothing like Dr. Slump. There was nothing like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Nothing. There was no One Piece. There was nothing. There was nothing to go off by. So the power scaling that Akira Toriyama brought was crazy. When you see his interviews or hear him talk or do interviews like in magazines, he says the way he created it was, like I said, that he forgets a lot, was one of the times he said he saw Journey to the West. So it's basically about the monkey, like the Monkey King, and that's how he came up with Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and it's all related. You have the pig, you have the monkey, which is the Goku. So he came up with the Saiyans, and then Freezer. He describes how there was a tyrant in Japan, I believe, and he took over like the housing and real estate, and he was a monster. And like the way he creates all these characters is very unique. But what was really close to home base, like to me, was when I was growing up. Not everybody has like a perfect life. They don't have like a perfect life where um, your life is just perfect. Your parents are rich. You have everything you want. You're just living life and nothing matters. To some people, they have situations like my household. We weren't rich and nothing was perfect. Everything was just kind of working out by a miracle. And to those kind of households, writing to get your mind out of whatever situation you were, like in hell or whatever it is that you were in. Maybe not such a perfect home, maybe not such a perfect life, but it helps you disconnect and you come into this fantasy world, and it gives you another perspective and hope. And one of the things that Akira Toriyama did to millions of people is he created Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z for me is where it started. I didn't really see Dragon Ball, even though it did come out. I didn't really watch it. I just watched Dragon Ball Z from episode one, and I was a young lad, a young kid, and I was just going to school. And to me, it was everything. It was my life. Without Dragon Ball, there was no reason for anything else, and I couldn't wait to finish school. Like school was just, I didn't really care about school at all or anything. I just wanted to finish school, come home, and watch Dragon Ball Z. So my mom was sweet enough to record the anime for me. I taught her how to put it on the VCR. People don't know what that means, and then push the red button, and the little red light would turn on, and in the cassette inside it would record it. And my mom sometimes we had to teach her how to record and pause, so she would skip the episodes. I'm sorry, she wouldn't skip the episodes, but she would skip the commercials. So when we would come home, we would watch it. And back in the day, that was like advanced technology. And there was no other way to watch it. There was no internet. There was nothing. And some people didn't even have internet. And some people didn't know how to navigate. Even if you had it, there was nothing that you can find these videos on. Like it was like before YouTube, before everything. Um, and I remember in the beginning of the show when it would start, when the show would start, you had a cast of characters, and there was this image. I did find the original one, but we're gonna see it at the end of the show. But you would see the Z fighters, and you would kind of like, oh, okay, this is what they're gonna look like in the future, and you kind of wonder like, okay, who's this guy? I know Krillin, and who's that little guy? And as the show progressed, you started understanding, oh, the little guy is the son of Goku. He's Gohan. I didn't know that. And then you figured out, oh, Yamcha, Tien. Oh, okay, this is Vegeta. It doesn't make sense why Vegeta's with them if Vegeta doesn't even exist. And like, as the episodes progress, this picture starts making sense. And basically, this picture here in the beginning, I was not aware that it was up to the Android saga, or at least the beginning of the Android saga. You could consider it to be, yeah, it's the beginning of Android Saga because Gohan goes in the time chamber and then he changes, right? He goes Super Saiyan. So this is all the beginning of the Android Saga image, but it's the future, but you don't know that. So it's kind of complicated. It's so cool and nostalgic, but you don't know. So it's like the fact that you don't know, you just kind of figure it out as you go. It was beautiful. And you don't know who Trunks is, and the series finishes, and then this picture comes out, and then you finally see who this is the real one. It's just doing a song, and then he just catches on fire, and a lot of it doesn't make sense, but as the show progresses, it does. Um, and this is it right here. He turns Super Saiyan, and that doesn't make sense either, but I remember the exact day I don't remember what day it was, but I do remember the exact day that we came from home. And my mom said, "Hey, that guy that you guys watch, he turns into a different color." And we're like, "What?" Like all my brothers, and I felt like crying for joy. I was like, "What? He turns into a different color?" And we're like, "Does he turn Super Saiyan?" She's all like, "I don't know what he does, but he turns into a different color." And we're like, "What color?" And she's like yellow. And we're like, "Yellow, yellow hair?" We got all excited and we pushed the video and it said, I think it said the legendary Super Saiyan or something like that. I don't remember what the episode was called, but Goku turns Super Saiyan, and this is it here is the episode. And it was like an impact for me because the show just looks like a Super Saiyan, and nothing that has ever been shown anywhere has ever shown any sort of power level and like a different transformation. Like you might have transformations, but nothing like Dragon Ball Z. It doesn't compare. And you finally had this Super Saiyan, and everything made sense. All the pieces fell in place, and it was a great joy. And it was like, to me, it was like an accomplishment in my life. It sounds weird, but being little, it had like a big impact on me emotionally, psychologically, but it was all for the positive. And it made me think of like just going through life and then succeeding in the end and reaching that Super Saiyan level. And it was like mind boggling, like surprising, out of this world. And I used to dream of the day where they would air the show, like you would go into a theaters and watch it. And I'm gonna end the video, but basically it did end up happening. So my parents have heritage of being from Mexico, but I am born and raised here in the U.S. And I did go on vacation to Mexico, and I did get to see the culture and everything of the heritage, but I'm mainly just here in the U.S. And in Mexico, Dragon Ball Z is like their life. Like you could go like to a park or like to like the central of some of the towns, the town square, like the central of some of the towns, the central park of a city. In certain cities and regions in Mexico, they actually play Dragon Ball Z free. Like some people charge you, but some people they do it free. So they're just events. And what they do is they put like a giant screen and you just go there and people sit down and watch it. Like the whole entire city. I wouldn't say all the people because not everybody goes, but the people who want to watch it go. And you just sit down as a community. Nothing. I don't think anyone in the world does that. Nobody does that in the world. Only Mexico does that. And I got a chance to participate in that. Not the Dragon Ball Z, but like in overall movies. And I know that they do that. They host them. And basically, you just go and you sit down. And it's like your whole city is sitting out there together with you. Like your neighbor, like people from your school, from the other side of the city, and they're just sitting there eating and watching the show, and they just have the speakers and a big screen, and they air it during the night. So it's like being at the movies, but for free, and it's out in broad daylight. It's out, like you can see dogs walking and everything, and it's so cool. It's a different experience, and in Mexico, that's what they do. Like they have that type of experience. So to them, Dragon Ball Z has like a very close connection. And I think because of my bloodline, I have that close connection with Dragon Ball Z. It's not just an anime; like it's really close to me emotionally and mentally. And I was gonna play the music, but I had a hard time making the video because I kept getting emotional, and because he passed away, and he did a lot for a lot of people. He did a lot for me, and some of these animes, that's what they do. Like they impact you in a way that nothing can, in a positive way. And that's what I want to do to the community, to always impact the community in a positive way, and not just talk, but in deeds too, like in doing it. And yeah, and I wanted to make a special thanks to Akira Toriyama for making Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Slump, all of his shows that he made, and all the things that carried me through my life, my childhood. And I just found out that he passed away, and I'm gonna have to end the video with that. So before I end the video, in case you have a question like what is my favorite character, um, so basically when I grew up, um, a little bit of Akira and a little bit of me, about me, my thoughts, and then I'm gonna end the video. My favorite character was always Goku, but then I found out Akira Toriyama's favorite character was Gohan, so I changed to Gohan because Gohan is supposed to be the main character of Dragon Ball Z and all the shows, and Akira, the creator, says it. He says my favorite character is Gohan, and I made the show for him. But the fans were attacking him. They wanted Goku. They don't want Gohan, so he had to change back to Goku. And as I grew up, I changed my favorite character to Vegeta. Why? Because as you already know, I'm a Christian man, and that means I have to be careful with my language. I have to be careful with my behavior. Um, and Vegeta is more like of a Christian. And I know I'm gonna get attacked or backlash for it, but you have a lot of people like they claim to be Christian. You're like, well, why'd you turn a 180 on us? Well, like I said, this video is unique because it's about me. It's about touching home. It's not about the channel. It's not about the community. This is about me. I never make videos like this, but this is a special video. And Vegeta is more like a Christian because when I grew up, I was ruthless, cold, and I used to do a lot of corrupt stuff. And what happened when I grew up, I received Jesus Christ. And I learned that there's a lot of fakes. There's fake this, fake Dark Mission players, fake this, fake that. And you also have fake Christians. And I found out a lot of people say like they're Christians, but they don't talk like Christians. Their language. And I learned to distinguish whatever you say you are, you could be fake. And in order to be the real one, you have to fulfill the role. Like for this, you gotta talk the talk and walk the walk, and they're Super Saiyans. But Vegeta was a resemblance of a Christian to me because he came from the same behavior I had, like very negative, very bad, very evil. And then he turned into a good man, essentially, in meaning a good father, father his kids, and he had character development. So I felt a deeper connection with Vegeta, and Vegeta has like a very unique character that you can't share with the rest. Everybody else, when the characters exist, like when they're introduced, that's how they are, and if they pass away, that's how they are. Vegeta's the only character that changes. He goes through changes, and he's like a Christian. So I believe that it has some Christian values there that you can see it. And I changed my favorite character to Vegeta, and you can see his character and his progression, and it reminds me kind of me, like the Christian walk. And that would explain why on my channel, why my Discord, I try to stay away from cursing, from negative thoughts. Anything that's negative is a waste of time because it doesn't produce anything. It doesn't produce money. It doesn't help the community. It's just a waste of time. So what I do is I leave that to someone else. Someone else can keep that, like the loser walk. And I like more of the successful walk and gaining something of value. So Vegeta's a unique character. He is my favorite character. I don't think I'm ever gonna change again because of that. And yeah, Vegeta has an excellent character development, and that's what I wanted to say. Just to recap, thank you to Akira, and I'm sorry that I missed it. Sometimes we get busy and we miss when somebody passes away. We don't know, but I don't want to let one more day go by and not talking about it. And Dragon Ball Z was a unique thing. There's a lot of other anime that exist on in the planet. You know, there's hundreds or millions of anime that come out, manga. And if you guys ever want to read manga, and Dragon Ball Z is one of the reasons why I created my own show. I don't know if you guys knew I have a show, right? I created a show, and I created a show, and it was inspired by Akira Toriyama, and it was from Key Studios, but who originated was Akira before everyone because you can see the influence that it has on me because I put it on my anime. All the characters are Dragon Ball Z characters, and yeah, God bless him, and hopefully he receives the Lord, so he doesn't have to go through some bad stuff. But yeah, it's a special video for me. And before I end the video, that goes to show you like the times. Each generation, like they have their impact on the world, and then it's time for them to pass away, and then the next generation comes. The interesting thing about the generations is each generation swears that their generation is the best, and then you have, like, they call it the golden years or the golden age, but then it changes to the next generation, and then they swear that their generation is the best, like their food, their music, and all that. And as you progress, all the old generations are forgotten, like the music, the foods, the culture, the movies, the anime. But you're starting to see a lot of things are becoming classics. They're becoming classics, and they're becoming legends. And I believe Akira is a legend. Dragon Ball Z is a legend. If it can inspire me, I'm sure it inspired millions of people. And no matter what character is your favorite character, all the characters are cool. And because I'm gonna have such a close bonding, people might think like he's just on ranting. He should have left the video go like 5 minutes ago. It is true, but this video is gonna be about me since I never do it. And Team DMA is like Dragon Ball Z to me. They're very special. You have characters that are unique. Like Kobe is a very close connection to him, and he's Piccolo. And we have other characters like Job and other people that are actually different characters of the show. Um, we have people like Adele being Trunks, and anybody who's a Dragon Ball Z character is definitely close to me. Like I said, Job. There's a lot of other people that are Dragon Ball Z characters. There is other animes before I end the show. Before I end the video, that are like very good too, like to watch, like My Hero Academia. I started watching Ninja. What's his name? Ninja Kamui. There's like a lot of anime, manga. I recommend like Holy Land. There's a lot of anime and manga that I watch, but I don't connect with it. But there's a lot of it that I watch and I do connect, and it's all for the positive. And then Yu-Gi-Oh as well. I have a close connection to the Dark Magician deck because Dark Magician deck, I used to play it when I was little, and I used to play it at events and go to the old school YCS. They used to be called like World Championships or something like that, but they changed it to YCS. And the interactions that you have, and there's like nothing negative. Like it's far away from being dangerous. Like kind of like there's a lot of things you can do that are dangerous, but like some of these things are like far from being dangerous because you're sitting on a chair watching it or doing something, so they're not dangerous to your health. And yeah, if you haven't watched it, Dragon Ball Z, I suggest you watch it. If you have any questions or concerns about Dragon Ball Z, you can let me know. If anybody wants to start a discussion on Dragon Ball Z or wants me to do anything on my show regarding Dragon Ball Z, I wouldn't mind doing it. Um, and for my channel, I'm going to continue the Dark Magician. I know I've been busy. I'm just going to get to do things here and there. And before I end the video, I hope the best for Machi, since I'm standing by Machi. There's a lot of people who play Dark Magician, but their profiles, they're not top tier. And I believe Dark Magician Branded is top tier. I was one of the first person. Branded hadn't even come to TCG, and I told everyone it was going to be. If you want to play Dark Magician Branded, follow Machi and do some of his profile. You can mix and match. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. I might make a special anime show for Dragon Ball Z and giving thanks to Akira Toriyama, and then also the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, since I did that as well. I did the level 7 bar video and people like it. I really appreciate everyone who supports the channel, who watches it, who subscribes, everyone in the Discord, everyone attending tournaments. Thank you so much, you guys. I can't thank you guys enough other than giving back to you guys with free stuff to the community. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you. God bless everyone in the name of Jesus. And if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. And with that having been said, you guys, Dark Magic Attack.
peligro viene ya. Y para llorar no es el tiempo ahora. Ya siento subir más y más la adrenalina. Los héroes de la historia seremos. Realidad tu sueño por fin será. Listo estoy para poder pelear. Victoria tendré. Juega niño, que el poder nuestro es. Hoy seremos Dragon Ball Z. Procura llegar al final y luchar con valor en los campos. Deja las flores crecer. Feliz. Acercándose tu destino viene ya. Deberás seguir siempre tu objetivo. Siempre mantendrás en tu alma la esperanza para cumplir todos tus deseos. Combatir el mal es nuestra misión. Con valor debemos enfrentar a todo rival. En el cielo tú verás una luz y la fuerza se entrará en ti. Pelea niño hoy sin temor, el poder nuestro es y seremos para siempre Dragon Ball Z. Un gran hombre sé que pronto será.